let's get into the USA Canada Four
Oh,
Nations tournament. Oh my gosh, I was so
yes.
confident we were going to win that game. I was so confident. I feel like you kind of had to be, but I feel like too with Canada, you guys were so stacked. So it's like we didn't have Hellebuck, we probably would have lost that game like 7-1. That's how I feel like. That's what I took away from both games.
Oh yeah, locally everyone's biggest knock was we don't have goaltending, we don't have
Right.
defense. But it's like the first 2 minutes of game one where you have a McDavid McKinnon Crosby power play goal in the first minute against Sweden. You're like, holy shit, this is not arguably, it'll probably go down next year Olympics team too as like the
Yeah.
greatest Canadian team of all time. So winning was like the only option. But when it did get to that final game, I think we think the same where it's like they already beat us. Now they're at home. Can they beat us again? Canada was a dog, I think, odds wise, but I mean, that could have gone either way.
I think that I wish we could settle this because we're both one. It's 1-1. Canada beat USA on USA's home ice. USA beat Canada on their home ice, and I thought it was great. I mean, the fact that it was the most watched hockey game, NHL hockey game in 30 plus years with 9.3 million viewers is insane. And because we've all been saying for all these years, for like hockey fans, like myself included, you included, other friends I know, what's the NHL doing? Why don't they market their best player? Why don't they market McDavid? Why don't they do this? Why don't they do that? Well, if they did anything correct, they did knocked it out of the park with this Four Nations because like in the grand scheme of things, obviously I know with USA and Canada and Trudeau and Trump and all that, like you want to, throw politics into it. Still, like this was a marketing genius move by the NHL to do this, by the Players Association. It was only NHL players. It'd be cool to see them do it next year, maybe different
Next
teams.
year's Olympics, so we will see
So
teams.
that's what so that'll be even better with the Olympics next year. But I mean, it got so many people into hockey. I feel like it was so cool to see. I thought they knocked it out of the park. They destroyed the NBA in their ratings there. And I thought it was awesome that they did this. I didn't even know they were going to do it, but it was cool to see.
I just felt they marketed it so poorly going in. The Super Bowl, you have the largest Canadian television audience, largest American television audience, not one ad played to promote First Nations.
No.
Four Nations. It kind of just started.
Yeah.
It kind of just started and people were like, what is this? Like I knew it was happening just locally, but like I don't feel like they marketed it well as like, hey, this is our places for All-Star Week. But the players, I think, stepped up and really did the marketing for them. The 3 fights on the first Canada US game. That'll be remembered forever. And then the McDavid goal and the way you guys won, like that was a game where if you have a friend or family member or you're just a sports fan, you've never watched hockey in your life, you see that, how do you not want to watch it again?
Right. And the thing too about it was an exhibition game. Or a tournament. It wasn't even like for the gold. Like it was like, yeah, it's bragging rights, of course. Like Canada's better than us in hockey, but like it wasn't to the level of like, I mean, of course, people made it out to be like bigger than what it was. It was awesome to see. But at the end of it all, it was just an exhibition tournament. So the fact that you got people excited for that when the Olympics you got next year I think it's even going to be more exciting.
Oh yeah. I think like just timing in the world, Canada versus USA with just everything that's going on. I don't know if you saw today. No. Elon Musk tweeted, "Canada is not a real country."
Oh, Jesus.
He deleted it, but like it's up. It's been up. I saw it. It was either today or yesterday. So like there is some real animosity between people in these countries. And now sports is kind of playing as that like, yeah, I may not watch hockey,
right,
but I love Canada and I hate the US, so I'm going to cheer for Canada. So it did help, I think, what was going on at the time.
I agree.
I think if Trump showed up to that game in Boston,
oh my gosh,
broke the internet. Would have broke the internet if he showed up to that hockey game.
Or if Trudeau would have showed up too. Trump actually invited him on Trudeau.
Trudeau was at the first one in Canada. So he pulled up, but I mean that would have been crazy if they're in a box together, like chirping each other. That would just be so good for the world.
Can we say that Canada, like, they won? You guys won the Four Nations, but like we're tied, right?
I do want to see a third game, so hopefully next year in the Olympics.
I don't think those will be the same teams though next year.
No, but it'll be pretty similar NHL teams.
Do you think Bedard? Do you think Bedard makes the Team Canada next year?
I don't know, man. He's a bit undersized, but playing with like these monsters.
But Jack Hughes is a baby though. Like
Jack Hughes played like crap though.
Yeah, he did. He's very like He's not a big guy. This was another thing too. I don't know if I'm sure you caught this. Why was Chris Kreider in over Kyle Connor? I was confused by that. I was like, why Chris Kreider was like pulled in the second period? I was so
Maybe like
confused.
international, they have different stats. I don't know. I thought these teams were weird. I thought Tavares, with the season he's been having for the Leafs, should have made it on the fourth line center there, but
That's
maybe
another
that's a
thing
little
too. It's
biased
also
too.
NHL players. Some guys elected to not play in it because I don't think maybe some of these players thought it would have turned out the way that this was going to turn out. We didn't know that USA and Canada were going to match up like maybe we thought, but we didn't know. Like, I mean, yeah, they were the two. Like, Canada was favored to win the tournament, which
Yeah.
I thought you guys were going to run away with the tournament. I didn't even think we were going to be as good as you guys. I
On
think
paper, I think you guys had a better team because, like,
really
obviously we're top six heavy, but you go bottom six
McDavid.
defensemen and just the
Yeah,
three goalies you had. Any of those three goalies would be number one undisputed starter on Canada.
you had Connor Hellebuck. You had
Ottinger.
Jake Ottinger, and then who was the other guy?
Was it your Capitals guy, Thompson? I know it
No,
was someone crazy.
no, Capitals didn't make it actually. No Capitals players played in the Four Nations.
Let's see if I can pull this
You
up.
guys had Binnington, Aiden Hill, and who was the other guy?
Bennington, Aiden Hill, and then I think it was Montembeau from Montreal.
Montembeau from Montreal. That's
Jeremy
right.
Swayman, you had two. Yeah, that's a Leaf killer, absolute Maple Leaf killer.
So we had Swayman, Hellebuck, and Jake Ottinger. Yeah, so there you go. So it was about the goaltending, but if we didn't have a good goaltender, you guys would have ransacked us both the first game.
Well, I thought you guys were going to win in OT. I felt like Matthews had that guaranteed game-winning overtime, and then the block. He would have been the Jimmy Fallon guy. He would have been on New Heights. He would have been Captain America if he scored that. But
I had to go to bed. I couldn't watch the overtime. I was exhausted. And I was like, I can't watch the outcome of this game. I was just not confident.
I respect that. I was out, obviously, filming some stuff with the group I work with called Fan First.
Yeah,
and so like we were like kind of vlogging our reactions.
Oh, I saw.
Like, obviously, you're on for the camera, but then like it's not hard. Like some days you got to fake it, right? When shit, you got to turn on. That was very easy to not fake. Like it was very easy to be.
Did the bar just go crazy?
Oh, it just exploded.
Was that like your guys' Super Bowl?
Yes. You know what? Honestly, now that you put it that way, I think the level of sheer enjoyment that hockey fans received in that moment and just the sense of pride over the US based on everything going on. I think if a Canadian team doesn't win the cup this year, we can look at that and say we have this. I don't think it's a core memory. Like, do you remember 2010 when Canada won in the Olympics?
Crosby.
That is like every Canadian can tell you exactly where they were when that goal happened.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing too. When I think about this, I'm just like, we're close, but we're not there yet. But Canada has always been known for. I mean, you guys have Wayne Gretzky, for crying out loud.
Yeah, I mean, I think you just had like, oh, why could Canada win? I think as long as McDavid, McKinnon, Crosby, you're like, holy cow.
Well, even if they don't have Crosby for next year's Olympics, like maybe if they do, he's older now. Just McKinnon and McDavid on the line together isn't even fair. Marner.
Yeah, I know Marner showed up big time. I think Crosby will play next year, and then next year will kind of be his last Olympics. Yeah, because like he's 37, born in 87. I know that, so 38.
He's 38, 37 to 38 because Ovechkin's 39.
Yeah, I hope they let Russia. I know there's the political reasons they're not allowed in the Olympics. I hope they let Russia back in.
Yeah, I know.
It'd be cool to see Crosby versus Ovechkin in the Olympics one more time.
Oh my God, they'd be electric too. And they didn't even get them in the Four Nations because of the whole political stuff and the security for reasons like that. Russia's
I just don't understand why the players have to be punished for it. I understand the country has to be punished, but like you're giving these players this stage to not be on.
I mean, Russia would be nasty in a Four Nations or Olympic team. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Vasilevsky, Ovi, Kucherov.
Yeah.
Sergachev, Malkin.
Yeah, they got some game breakers.
Oh my gosh. Is Nichushkin Russian?
He is.
Yeah, I mean, dude, what? That team would be be disgusting.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, like I said, I thought it was awesome to see that the NHL did the Four Nations.